You fled with a named Victor, but we're not victors. We're victimized by the white supremacists, sir. That's the reality, my brother.
That is nonsense. We are not victimized. We are victors. You know what? You know what's interesting, Tariq?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yeah. I expected more from you, right? I expected more from you. Now, let me just say
Like
one
what? What
thing.
did you expect from me?
Tariq, give me a second.
What
Let
did
me
you
just say
expect
one
from
thing.
me?
Let me say one thing.
Because what you're gonna get from me is the truth. I don't sit here bull people. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here. I'm a truth teller. I kick it and just say what it is. But go ahead.
And I respect that. I respect that. But we need to change our mindset. You know, I just finished reading this great book called Black Rednecks and White Liberals, and it's so interesting that Thomas Sowell says that most Black Americans' behavioral patterns are not original, right? They inherited those behavioral patterns from a white Southern dirty rednecks, and that's my point. We need to change our mindset. Even Black.
And that Thomas Sowell is a paid. He says Sambo
And
as
how
such.
we know that you're not a paid? Because you're
He
promoting victimhood.
because I'm too
You're promoting.
thorough. I'm too thorough. I got too much grassroots support. That's how you know. Thomas Sowell don't. White supremacists can't stand me. That's how we know. You understand? Thomas Sowell says a lot of stuff that the white supremacists want to hear. We don't got nothing to do with no redneck culture. Rednecks are dirty, filthy trailer trash. Foundational Black Americans, we ain't never been no dirty, filthy, trashy people. We ain't never been no funky, musty, dusty, shantytown living. That ain't never been our culture. We've been the epitome of cleanliness and morality. Let's keep it a buck. That's not us whatsoever. We despise that dirty redneck culture. So that's all cap. But
No,
go
no, no,
ahead,
no,
sir.
no. That's no. That's debatable. So you're talking.
How so? Debatable how so? Go ahead, my brother. Where you at?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. And
Yeah,
that's not
that's debatable.
debatable.
If you do your research in the antebellum South, before black people even adopted certain mentalities, right? They got those behavioral patterns from white dirty rednecks. Now, the facts are the facts. Thomas Sowell has substantiated these claims.
Like
So,
what? What did we
hold
get from
on.
them? What did we get?
Yeah. You said what?
What did we get from the rednecks?
Oh, AAVE, Black English, sexual laxity, this lethargic, lazy mindset that we have. We got those from white rednecks, but you refuse to accept the
Lazy?
truth. No, hold on.
How, lazy?
Excuse me.
How you a slave and lazy?
Hold
What the hell?
on. Give me a second. Wait.
How
First of
you a
all,
lazy
hold on.
slave? And
No.
how that
First
work?
of all, hold on. First of all, in the words of Victor Hugo, there's visible labor and invisible labor. So, invisible labor means that you're mentally working. So, one can argue that the architects of that built America were the mental workers. Right,
What?
where John D. Rockefeller. One can also argue that just because you were a slave doesn't mean you had a great work ethic.
Oh yeah. Not only
That
that,
doesn't mean
we
your
were
work ethic was impeccable.
hold on, because we were doing a lot of the inventing. That's why after slavery, we started getting patents left and right, because during slavery, we couldn't get patents. That's why many of these famous inventions, if you dig past and look underneath, you see a lot of black people were doing the blueprints. A lot of black people were behind the engineering. A lot of the bridges and the railroads, you had black engineers like Horace King, who was enslaved, who was an architect. You go down to some of these plantations in Louisiana and South Carolina, they'll tell you the black people who were the architects of them. Come on now. When you look at the cotton gin, Eli Whitney, they got that from a black person. So yeah, we were the brains behind a lot of this stuff. Lewis Latimer, Alexander Graham Bell, the person who did the blueprints was Lewis Latimer for the damn phone. Who really made the phone? We know Lewis Latimer did the light bulb. He was the one who really did the light bulb. It wasn't just mental laziness. No. We were behind a lot of these inventions, sir. That's why we have so many patents. Let's be real. I'm just making things historically correct here, because Thomas Sowell, again, he says stuff that the white supremacists like to hear. They like to hear about how lazy
No,
we are,
absolutely.
and
So,
we're like lazy redneck. They like to hear that type of stuff. The hell
no,
we're not.
no,
We ain't like
absolutely,
no damn rednecks. No, we ain't. We ain't never been
absolutely.
dirty and filthy.
No,
We
I'm
ain't
not.
never
No, no.
been dirty and filthy like them funky ass rednecks. We ain't never been
Sure,
like them.
sure. I'm not refuting anything you're saying,
That's
sir.
why our
Right?
food, none of that. They try to say we get food from there. None of our food tastes like that bullshit. Hell no. But go
Sure.
ahead, sir.
Yeah, no, I'm not refuting anything you're saying here, sir. What I'm simply saying is that we can't sit here and perpetuate this rhetoric that we're victims. We are not victims. That's one. Two, yes, those inventions are true. Historically, what you're saying is factual, but also we can't ignore that white people were just as innovative and creative. We cannot sit here and ignore historical facts that John D. Rockefeller and some of these white men, they were the architects that built America. Now, I'm going to give credit where credit's due here. Yes, in terms of manual labor, yes, we had a monopoly on that. Awesome, that's great. But we have to agree that the making of America, the building of America was a collaborative effort. Right? It
But
was a
the thing is,
collaborative
but
effort.
we've always been the secret sauce because when the white supremacists tried to do it on their own, they failed. They
If you've
tried to
always been the secret sauce, stop begging for reparations then. If you guys have been
no. If you owe us, no. That's not begging. If you owe us, we want what's owed. We are the
it, no,
secret.
it does. It,
Slow down. If you owe us, give me what's owed. You're not going to sit up here and just work all of this labor and all of this wealth out of us, and we don't say nothing. And we no. We're standing on business. You gonna pay us? No,
yo,
no,
no.
no.
Tariq.
They gonna pay us our money. They owe us. This ain't begging. You beg for a green card. You don't beg for what's owed. Give me my
No,
money.
Tariq. No, let's run that back. You just sat here and said Black Americans have always been the secret sauce. And what I'm trying to figure out here is that if we've always been the secret sauce, why are you saying that we're victims? That is a contradiction, right?
How
It makes
so?
no sense. If no, let me speak, sir. Because you've
I'm
been
letting you.
cutting me off
I'm
and
not
muting
cutting you
me.
off.
And if you respect
You're not
Haitians,
mute.
no, give me a second, Tariq. If you Haitians, right? Let me speak because I'm a Haitian. So give me some grace here. Thank you. Thank
Go
you
ahead,
very
brother.
much.
Go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Take a
So
bite out of your dirt cookie and calm down. But go ahead.
absolutely, absolutely. I'd rather eat dirt cookies than eat Wendy's like how you Black Americans do. Give me one
But
second. At least Mark, hold on.
Wendy's is better than dirt
No,
cookies and
no,
bush
it's
meat.
not.
All
No,
right.
no, it's not. Those mud cookies in
Wendy's.
Hades are.
I'd rather eat Wendy's, the restaurant, than a woman named Wendy, because y'all eat a human down there. You ate
And those
Wendy Dessalines. That's who you ate. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Wendy's. I like that. That was very clever.
There we
That was
go.
very clever.
go, go ahead, brother. Go.
that was very clever. You
There
see,
you go. You walk right into it. You know
no,
I'm very good.
fair enough. And like you right. I did walk into that. That was dope. I'm not even gonna say here
I
and lie.
eat Wendy's and you ate Wendy. Go
All
ahead.
right, fair enough. Fair enough. Listen. Listen. We eat people. Okay, fair enough. What I'm simply saying is that if I'm trying to understand if we have always had the secret sauce, right? Then why are you saying that we're victims? That does not sound like a victim to me. If we've always had the secret sauce, if you believe that Black folks to some extent had a monopoly on creativity and innovation, then why are you saying that we're victims if we have?
Let me give you an example. And I always use the Michael Jackson example. Michael Jackson, greatest entertainer ever, made the greatest album ever, the biggest selling album in history, Thriller. Michael Jackson, according to the family, basically they were victims of abuse. They were victims of abuse. Joe Jackson, he was a strict father. He pushed them, but he was, according to the family, he was somewhat abusive. They were victims of Joe Jackson. This is why they had, Michael had issues as an adult. He was victimized. Even though he was very successful, he was the secret sauce in the music industry. He was still a victim. And the reason why he was pushing so hard to be so great was because of the and Joe made him practice and made him sing and made him Joe. Even though Joe could be considered a victimizer, and I'm just saying what the family looked at him as just being too rough. He didn't let him have a childhood. He was just really pushing him so hard. Even though he was considered the victimizer, he brought out the greatness that was already in Michael. So even though Michael was the secret sauce, he was still a victim of abuse to a certain degree. And we're the same way as foundational Black Americans. We're great people. Our greatness is known all around the world, even though we are abused by these white supremacists. That doesn't take away from the greatness. We are still great people as victims of white supremacy. See how that works? You can still be great and be victimized. That's a reality. So that's the analogy I like to use. And I think my Haitian brothers and sisters can be great too. I really do.
So Tariq,
Because
Tariq,
they, they
that's
they've had a great history.
I have a
I would
question.
like for them to tap back into
no,
that history. I'm gonna
so,
get you
so
in a minute, Carmen. I'll get you in a minute, beloved.
yeah, Carmen, you can wait. Thank you. So Tariq, so help me understand something here, right? You're saying that you can still be great and a victim.
Yeah,
That's what you're telling me. So that's the
yeah,
best you got.
yeah. Because you got people in prison who are phenomenal, who shouldn't even be in there, and they're victimized, but they're great. You got some talented people who are in prison. They're still victimized. They're still under in an institution of a prison. So that doesn't take away from their greatness.
So Tariq,
And you got people,
Let
and
me
you
ask
got
you this.
people.
Let me ask
Go
you
ahead.
this. Instead of wasting valuable time, because I believe time is the greatest asset that we have, right? It's a great asset. Instead of wasting valuable time on X, on a white man's platform, why don't you create your own platform? Why don't you create your own app? And this is the problem with black folks. We waste a lot of valuable time having these conversations when we all have the purchasing power. We all have the resources to come together and build our own apps, our own platforms. But instead, you want to sit here and call me a tether, or you want to sit here. And this is what I'm saying. To me, in my opinion, it seems to me it seems to me that there's a poverty of the imagination in most black Americans. Right? This is why I call you guys foundational broke Americans. I don't mean you guys are broke financially. I mean you guys are broke psychologically, creatively, because Tariq, you are very
But you're Haitian. You see how that sounds coming from a Haitian? You can't say that, and you come from the most impoverished place in the Western Hemisphere. You're not at liberty to point fingers. You
I'm not
understand?
I'm not I'm not pointing fingers, sir. What I'm simply
Yes,
saying
you
is that
are. You're not at liberty to point fingers, sir. You come from the most impoverished place in the Western Hemisphere, where the poverty level is excruciatingly high. So you can't point fingers. But anyway, thank you so much, sir. I don't want to talk in circles. Let me get some more people in here. See, this is what we're saying. You can't be from Haiti or your family from Haiti and Panama, two broke places, and then point the finger at FBA's talking about what we ain't doing. We're doing better than that. Carmen, hop on, ma'am.
Oh my gosh.
How are you, Carmen? Turn your microphone on, dear. Carmen?
I'm good. Yeah. Can you just not do the muting thing all the time? Because,
Oh, no, no, no. We got to have decorum, man, because what happens, a lot of non FBA people, they're used to just bickering and yelling and talking over each other, and nobody can understand anything. So if there's not any real decorum, I have to have order in here. So
yeah,
that's why we got to have order. But
I,
go ahead.
I understand, man. Um,
Now, you're Latina. I hear your Latina accent. What are you, Puerto Rican or Cuban?
oh, no, 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 I'm not. No.
I don't hear a Latin accent, Carmen.
No, I'm Canadian. Maybe that's what,
Oh, okay. Okay. Canadian.
yeah.
A black Canadian girl. Where's your family from?
Do I have to go in into all of that or?
This,
Okay.
ma'am, this is not let's make a deal. All
My,
right.
my parents are from Jamaica.
Okay. Okay. Now
Uh,
what's on your mind? I was close, but what's on your mind, dear?
I just wanted to just ask a question
Go ahead.
on what Power was saying. Um, it might be a little bit off topic, and I'm not placing judgment on anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the Black community, okay, what do you think is going to drive us towards real change? Okay, and what I mean by that is not depending on the powers that be, because I do not necessarily believe that they have our best interest at heart. Okay. And let me just give a little bit of an example. Okay. So when 2008 came about and Obama was being considered for president, and everybody worldwide was excited. We were even celebrating here in Canada. And it became a little bit of a concern after his 4-year term ended because there wasn't much change that occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we all could remember back in 2008, that's basically um, was Obama's slogan, right? Change, right? Seeing change in America, seeing change in the world. And then, especially with the Black community, being that the Black people were classifying him as Black, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's biracial, but we're still going to classify him as Black because he is ethnic, regardless of his parental figures, right? So even though we understood that he had a white mother, we still labeled him as Black because we were really looking forward to the change that Obama was due to bring, right? So now, after these 8 years passed, right? I'm not saying that President Obama didn't do anything for those 8 years,
He
okay?
not for us. No, he didn't do anything for us. But go ahead.
Right, right. So that's the point I'm going to get to, right? Because I know people are going to say, well, he couldn't possibly do much within the 8 years. Understood, okay? He only had 8 years to be president, whatever. But fast forward to now, we haven't really we haven't seen much change in terms of in the economy. As a matter of fact, the economy is much worse than it's ever been after Obama became president and Donald Trump um, became president. Donald Trump basically set us back 50 years. Okay. And then we had Joe Biden, who was president for 4 years, basically didn't even do anything. He was like a walking zombie. Okay. And now everyone is advocating for Kamala Harris. So my question is, or Kamala, sorry. My question is, right? What do we really expect Kamala, even if Kamala does become president, okay, regardless if it's her or Donald Trump, if Kamala does become president, what do we think Kamala is really going to do to bring change to the world, let alone the Black race, okay, to move us further into a better future for not only ourselves, but our children?
Okay, now this is interesting because you're saying our, but you're in Canada. You're not even in the U.S. So either one of them being president, how's that going to affect you?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be a question for me. It's a question for you, right? You're in the States,
Right.
or the American people, right? But as I stated back, right, when Obama became president, worldwide, everybody was excited for his presidential term. Okay, so not only the people in America, worldwide, we're even celebrating in Canada.
Right. I understand that. No, no, slow down.
And
You're
even
saying that
though,
because you're
even
saying,
though,
slow down, slow down. Because you're like, well, us, he didn't do anything for us, but you're not even a U.S. citizen. Now, I know what he didn't do for us, but you're not a U.S. citizen. So what could
okay,
he have done for a Canadian citizen?
I'm still a Black woman though, right? So I'm speaking in terms of Black people on a whole, Black people worldwide, right? So
But okay, let's unpack
going
that.
back to what
Let's unpack that
going
because
back to what Power was saying.
hold on, let's unpack that because a lot of people who are let's go into Jamaica. I've heard Jamaicans say, "Well, I'm black and Jamaican." I've seen them other the term black. I've heard some Jamaicans say, "Well, I'm not black, I'm Jamaican." I've heard people say that. So they've othered blackness. So a lot of them don't even view themselves as black. And in fact, Jamaica has a lot of different caste systems there. That's where your girl Kamala's family is from. They come from that caste system. Her dad, there's no evidence of her dad ever identifying as black. Zero. No evidence. They just say he's Jamaican, but what the hell kind of Jamaican? That man is never identified as black. And not really Kamala either. They keep trying to blacken up her background and have her with greens and hot sauce and all that shit. No, no, no,
Okay,
no, no.
which I agree is the same thing with Obama, right? Obama's biracial and they still labeled him as Black because he's ethnic.
Mhm.
Regardless, if you're in the public eye, they're going to label you as Black, regardless if you have some type of
Right.
ethnicity attached to you.
And here's the
You're
thing.
not, hold
This
on,
is
if
where we
you're
hold
not,
on, slow down, slow down, because we got to unpack this. This is where we are now. We as foundational Black Americans, we're not falling for these Jedi mind tricks because that's been a trick of the white supremacists by getting a melanated person and saying, "Hey, this person is black now." and this person is your representative, and they don't come from our lineage, so they don't have a real camaraderie with us, so they don't really feel a need to look out for us. So if they neglect us, there's not going to be any guilt to that. And they're not from our communities anyway, so there's not going to be any kind of blowback against them or their families because they're not from our community. We do not want non FBA people stepping up as our representatives. This is where we are now. Just
Okay.
like other groups, they don't like other people representing them. We don't want the Obamas and the Kamalas trying to act as our representatives because they have a horrible track record implementing the benign neglect policy against us. That's why we're checking lineages. The minute somebody steps up and say, "Hey man, I got something to say," okay, where are you from? That's the first thing we need to know because that's going to shape how they approach the situation. And we simply do not want non FBA people as our spokespersons because they just don't have a good track record as representing us. That makes sense, sis?
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's, I mean, that's basically, that's why I was asking the question, right? What,
Hmm.
what is Kamala? Just as everybody thought Obama was going to bring great change to the world.
Kamala's a nothing burger. We ain't rocking with Kamala like that. Despite what you see in the media, the black community is not rocking with Kamala Harris like that. Kamala is going to lose bigly against Trump. She doesn't have a chance in hell to beat Trump. And we're not Trump supporters. I'm not supporting Trump at all.
So you think Trump is going to win?
Oh yeah, he's going by a landslide. Kamala Harris is not going to win. She doesn't have no real strong black support like that. They're trying to manufacture some type of image that the black community is really stomping for her, and we're not. We're not. We have a history with Kamala Harris. That woman has treated the black community horribly when she was a prosecutor. We didn't forget. I'm out here in California. She was horrible out here. And the whole sister girl act where she's dancing with Converse and Timberlands on and talking about putting greens in a bathtub. Get that bullshit out of here. Go make you some Punjabi rice and sit down and get out our damn face. That's where we are with it. Yeah.
All right, Tariq, thank you. That was my only question.
Thank you, beloved. I
Oh,
appreciate you. Oh
okay.
yeah, we're not rocking with them. That's what it is. Let's get my sister here. Let's get Miss Aki in the building, the lovely Aki, my sister in the building, and we got 1,400 people in here, man.
Hi, Tariq.
What's up, dear? How are you?
I'm all right. It's a little under the weather.
Uh-oh.
I wanted to give Carmen a different response to her question, which I hope was
Yes.
asked in good faith about how we advance as Black people.
Go ahead.
I'd say we advance large scale globally when the rest of you start putting some points on the board.
Mm.
We can't do it all. And I'm not saying this to disparage anyone, but you have to pay attention to what's happening here. Carmen herself is a Jamaican woman of Jamaican ancestry, left that island to the wolves. She's in Canada, where Black Canadians, as far as I know, aren't making any major waves. She's sitting here worrying about Obama and Harris and what we've got going on here, and really investing all this mental energy into it. How about putting a Black Canadian in office?
Mm.
How about getting back to the island and holding people accountable for the resources that they're misattributing there? We can only go so far with one small group still standing 10 toes down, fighting against our common oppressor. And now we have this whole heckler section full of other Black people from all around the world watching what we're doing, criticizing, offering
Right.
unsolicited feedback that's not helpful. The only way y'all can help us is return home and get something done because we did, which gave y'all a place to go to when things got too hot. Things
Mm.
get too hot, you can come here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If things collapse here, which I personally don't think Trump's going to come and enslave us all, he would have done that first term.
Right.
But if what they're saying is true, he's going to come and just ruin everything. We have nowhere to go. We can't go to Canada. Y'all haven't set anything up for us there, the Black people who are there. We
Mm-hmm.
can't go back to Africa. Y'all haven't set anything up there. We can't go to the Caribbean. We need y'all to start doing your part because we've got us. Let us do us. You do your part, and I guarantee we'll come up. But y'all have got to get off our asses and do your part. That's all.
Mm. Thank you so much. Eloquently put. Eloquently put. Don't y'all notice that? People got all the smoke for foundational Black Americans. Y'all coming over here pointing the finger at us. It's like what's the guy? What's his I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, the power guy. Y'all FBA need to do dude. You do know where your homeland is, right? And you do know how down bad you guys are in your homeland. Y'all can't be fleeing from all of your little dilapidated homelands, wagging your little fingers at us. That's weird.
Yo, this a classic clip of some Haitian dudes screaming at Tariq trying to say black Americans are lazy. But this dude's country's been in debt since like 1890. And he out here calling people lazy, but that presidential palace they got, they ain't repaired that since like 2008 or whenever that earthquake was. But yeah, I'm not gonna go on a full rant because I know how YouTube is, but I'm sure y'all heard the stuff about them these past few months. But that's all I really got to say about this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and comment down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. That's where I'm the most active on. And also make sure to follow me on Rumble. That's where I post videos in case they get taken down on here.